Hey friends, welcome back to Bible Fun with the Duns. Today we read Numbers chapter 34, all about them boundaries.
All right, let's go ahead and let's get started. So whenever you read this chapter, sometimes you read this and you go, all right, I know this is important, right?
Why are you laughing?
Because
You couldn't even say it.
I couldn't even say it with a straight face. I know this is important. It is, because it's in the Bible, right? So
To
this
those people is real important.
yeah, to these people, it's super important. Now, we do have trouble when we look back and we go, all right, but why is this important to us? Remember that this is saying things are getting real. So after 400 years in slavery, 40 years walking in the wilderness, and a promise that goes all the way back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Israel is about to go into the promised land, and as they're going in the promised land, like, it's getting real. It's so real, in fact, that they're starting to actually establish the boundaries of what this country is going to look like. Now, you got to understand whenever you read through this that this is not going to be a process like normal empire building. So the promised land is not going to be given to God's people by the strength of their armies. It's not going to be given by how mighty they are in battle. Yes, they will go to battle, but this is not land that they will win. This is land that they will be given. This is on every level. This is an inheritance. And what is an inheritance? An inheritance is something that a parent passes down to a child. And what has God been calling his people? These are his children. So the land that they're going to be living in is his land. Now, if we're looking ahead at this with gospel eyes, we're understanding that God also has this very similar plan for us. Because what has God told us? He's told us that one day we're going to get to go to his house. We're going to go into his land. And what does it tell us? And what Jesus had to say about this was, behold, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and I will receive you to myself, that where I am, there you can be also. So he's talking to us. He's talking to his disciples. He's got a place for us, which means when we get there, that place is going to be ready. And I will come and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also. So when Jesus comes to get us, he's not going to be surprised. Like, we're not going to get to his house and he go, oh, I wasn't expecting y'all. I wasn't expecting company this soon. I wasn't expecting this many people. I wasn't expecting. No. When he comes for us, he's got the land. He's got the spot outlined. He has been preparing for us. With hospitality, he's been preparing for us. The other side of this is, I want you to notice how much emphasis they put on borders. How many civilizations throughout the years have been content where they are? Not many. Most of the civilizations we study about throughout history, you know what they were interested in? Not just their land, but more.
Especially in that area.
Yeah. They want more. We as people, we expand. We want more and more and more and further our empire. Well, what did God tell his people? He said, I'm going to give you this land, and within this land, I'm going to give you your place in this land. Why? Because we are not going to be consumed with the desire for more. You are going to have all you need when you have me. And so this inheritance that God gives his people isn't even like it's not a symbolic promise. He's not saying I'm going to give you a land, but that's symbolism. No. He's literally giving them a land. He is going to be generous with his people, but his armies would not be the ones that would get it. He is going to set his people up in a spot where for the rest of history, everybody's going to be talking about them. To the point where he expects them to shine as a light to the nations. Now, do they do that? No, not really. But maybe there are lights that come out of that. Jesus said, I'm the light of the world. Then he told his people, and you are the light of the world. Let your light so shine before men. Now, the other side about this is when we're reading about these boundaries, God gave these people borders and he expected them to be content. And the thing I think we have to ask ourselves when we look at this, they're having to live within these borders. Are we content with the blessings that he's given us, or are we also, like the nations, are we driven with a greed, a conceit, a selfish ambition, a vainglorious kind of spirit where we have his blessings, but we're not content until we have more? That goes into this. I also like the fact that whenever they get into the land, the Lord decides for the people who's going to be responsible for and in charge of kind of distributing this land. And so we have their actual names. Well, Proverbs chapter 11 verse 14 says this, where there is no counsel, people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. And so what he's telling his people is, not only are you going to have this land, but we are going to distribute this land in wisdom. And when it is distributed in wisdom, we are going to live there in contentment. Why? Because I am there. I am the shepherd, you are my sheep, and I will be all that you need. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Why? Because he is here. And so when we read through this, we understand this was not about ambition. This was about receiving the blessings and understanding that the chief blessing of Israel was that their God would live among them and that they would be his people and that he would be their God. And listen, that's the chief blessing we got. We have a God who lives inside of us. We are his people and he is our God, and we have all we need when we have him. I think that's what we get out of this. Hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow we'll see you and we'll talk about the cities for the Levites. All right, we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.